there were two different times in my life when God sent an angel to tell me something, and still I don't know what it means to this day. The first time I'd gotten in a fight with a parent, we weren't getting along very well, and I had some personal issues, I believe, at the time. We got into a really bad fight, and we were just arguing and yelling at each other, saying some stuff I probably shouldn't have said. So I leave. I had a friend with me at the time, and this friend rides with me. We go over to this Walmart. It's a neighborhood Walmart about 15 minutes or so from my house, and we pulled into the parking lot. I don't think I was going to get out of the car at first. I was just going to wait in the car, but I ended up getting out, and we were going to go inside and just walk around and just take a deep breath because I was not in a good mood. I didn't want to talk to anybody, really be around anybody at all. But I got out of the car and I see this guy, and he's all the way across the parking lot. And all of a sudden, I'm hearing somebody say, "Excuse me," and he's walking over towards me. And I'm like, this guy's not talking to me, is he? And he says, "Excuse me," again, I believe, or he was trying to get my attention. And then I notice he's talking to me. And he comes up to me from all the way across this parking lot. There were all these different people in the parking lot. He could have stopped and talked to, but he comes up to me and he starts talking to me about Jesus and talking to me about how God loves me. And he just wanted to let me know that God loves me, and asked if he could pray for me, I believe. And it was dark out. There's no way this guy could even tell I was in a bad mood because it's dark out. He's all the way across the parking lot. And he comes over directly to me. And he starts talking to me about Jesus and saying all this stuff. And then at the end, he says this weird thing. He says, "What is now backwards?" And I was like, "Now backwards?" And he's like, "One." And I was like, "One? What do you mean?" You know, and he's like, "Now backwards is one," or whatever. And then he just walks off like nothing happened. That was the first time that God sent somebody to deliver this message to me. And I don't know what it means still to this day. I need to research it and figure out what it was exactly. But he had this conversation with me that really made me think that God sent this man to me because he knew that I was having a really rough time with all the issues and stuff that were going on. And then it happened again later. I had a friend who passed away in a car crash. It was really devastating. This was a kid I was very close with growing up, and we weren't as close as we got older and stuff. But he passed away in a car wreck, and we're on the way to the funeral. And I'm getting in my car, once again, not in a great mood. This is a really sad time for me as I'm about to go to my best friend growing up, his funeral. I'm getting in my car, and then there's this guy, and as he's going down the side of the road, he rolls down his window and he says, "Excuse me," and he says, "I just wanted to let you know that God loves you." And he just starts talking to me in the same exact way again as the previous guy had. He tells me that God loves me, he tells me that Jesus Christ is real and he died for me and all this stuff, and preaching to me. And I said, "Man, I can't believe you just stopped to tell me this. I'm on my way to a friend's funeral who just passed away. One of my best friends just died, and I'm on my way to his funeral." And he said, "I'm sorry to hear that." And then at the end of the conversation, he said, "What is now backwards?" And I look at this guy, and my eyes kind of got big because I'm like, what the heck is going on? This is the second time somebody's came up to me and said this in a really bad time in my life. And he goes, "What is now backwards?" And I'm like, "One." You know, he's like, "It's one." And then he just drives off. It was the most bizarre thing I've ever heard in my life. And it happened 2 different times. I don't know what the meaning is of that and where it comes from, but it was really bizarre. And it makes you think there's no way that 2 different times at some of the lowest points in my life. One of the times after a really bad fight when I was going through all sorts of stuff and I really did want to end it all. And then the second time I'm on the way to a friend's funeral who passed away in a devastating car wreck, my childhood best friend growing up. And it's the same thing again. The same thing again. And it really makes you think, because there's been so many times in my life where there's things that have happened that could not have been a coincidence. Like the probability, if you were to put that into some calculator, I would bet you the probability is very slim that that would happen. But anyways, I wanted to share this, just a quick video. I wanted to share this just in case anybody found it helpful, because there's been many times in my life where God has shown up, and it's just been little things, but little bizarre coincidences where God has shown up and he's revealed himself to me in the lowest points of my life. So